I came home from my ultrasound to find my neighbor sunbathing in my backyard wearing my robe, with her 3 kids cannonballing into the koi pond my late father built by hand. I'm 6 months along and the summer had been brutal, so my one comfort was the little garden pond in our backyard. My dad built it the year before he passed, dug it himself, set every stone, stocked it with koi he named after old jazz singers. When my husband Marcus and I bought our first place, that pond was the whole reason. It was the last thing my father made with his hands, and sitting beside it in the evenings was the only thing that made the heat and the back pain bearable. Our neighbor Renata moved in that spring with 3 kids under 10. Loud, pushy, always borrowing things she never returned. One afternoon she rang the bell with a big syrupy smile and asked if her kids could just splash in your little fish pool because their AC was broken. I felt terrible, but koi ponds aren't for swimming. The fish, the filter, the chemistry. I said I was sorry. Maybe we'd figure something out another time. I tried to be kind about it. 3 days later, I'm at the kitchen sink and I look up and there are her kids waist deep in the pond, chasing my father's fish with a pool net, water, and stones everywhere. I got out there as fast as a 6-month pregnant woman can move and told them to get out. The oldest looked at me flat and said their mom said Marcus told them it was fine. Marcus had been at the shop since 6 that morning. I called him on the spot. He had no idea what she was talking about. Renata strolled over, not to apologize, arms crossed. Relax, they're just cooling off. Don't be so uptight. I told her to take her kids home and went inside shaking. That night, Marcus built a low fence around the pond and put in motion lights. We thought that was the end of it. That weekend we ran errands, gone maybe 2 hours. We pulled in and heard shrieking from the back. My stomach dropped. The fence was knocked flat. Renata was stretched out in my chair in my robe, her kids in the water, and one of my father's koi, the big orange one he named Ella, was flopping on the grass where a kid had scooped it out to look at it. I scrambled and got it back in the water, sobbing, and screamed at her to leave. She laughed and said I needed to learn to share. Marcus called the police right in front of her. That killed her smile fast. She lied to the officers, claimed the pond was community property, that we'd built it on the shared line. They walked the property, pulled our survey and deed on Marcus's phone, and confirmed it was entirely ours. They warned her for trespassing and said next time meant an arrest. She stormed off swearing at us the whole way. I really thought it was over. We put in a real fence with a locking gate. For a week I could breathe. Then I came home from a prenatal appointment on a Wednesday and the gate was hanging open. I walked into the yard and my heart just stopped. The pond had been drained. Someone had pulled the pump and kinked the liner and the water was gone. My father's fish were on the mud. Still, all of them. I sat down right there in the dirt and cried like I hadn't since the funeral. It was the one piece of him I had left, and it was ruined. Marcus came home early and filed a report. I didn't think it would go anywhere. 2 days later, a detective called. The neighbor behind us had a camera on their back deck for their dog, and it caught Renata coming through our gate with a bucket and the pump in her hands, the timestamp matching exactly. You could hear her laughing on the audio. We pressed charges. She denied it until they showed her the footage. She was ordered to pay for the pond restoration plus trespassing and property damage, close to $4,000. We used it to rebuild the pond stone by stone from my dad's own photos, and a fish store owner who heard the story gave us new koi at cost. Marcus mounted a camera above it. I named the new orange one Ella too. Renata never came near the yard again. What's the pettiest thing an entitled neighbor ever destroyed on you?